in on Wednesday, February 23rd, 2011. Attendance is available online for, that's just for our main council meetings. But it is just me, so these will be communications from the chair. And we have two items today. Do we have any general public comment? Do we have anybody from the public here? If anybody doesn't work for the city here? All right, great. Well, welcome city family and all of our listeners on city phone, our council phone. Let's take up the first item, please.
Item number 1 is a report and ordinance from the city attorney relative to the establishment of fees and bonds for recounts in connection with city elections. This has also been scheduled for council on Friday.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Councilman.
Good afternoon.
This is a routine ordinance which is adopted every 2 years before the municipal election to update the recount fee charges in the event of a recount. And it was submitted to council pursuant to the election code, which requires the city clerk to recommend to the council 90 days prior to the biennial election the fee to be charged for each precinct recounted and the amount of the bond required of an elector who demands the complete recount of a collection. So based on our computations, the manual recount fee will be $2,200 for one precinct, $132,000 and change for a complete manual recount. And the electronic recount for one precinct will be $2,365 and $5,834 for a complete electronic recount. And our report contains the addendum pages, which breaks down the cost per different kinds of employees that need to be involved to do the hand count and the electronic count.
So they can ask for either one, an electronic or a hand count?
Yes, they can. And just one point of clarification, in the ordinance that followed on the clerk's report, we drafted the fees to be a per ballot cost rather than a total cost, because you don't know how many votes will be cast in a particular race. So the numbers of the clerk's office translate to $2,200 plus 84 cents a ballot for manual, $2,365 plus 0.037 cents per ballot for electronic. They do get to choose which one they want.
And as the CLA pointed out, the election code requires, and state government code requires, that this be adopted by the council no later than the date of the election, which is fast approaching on March 8th. So that is why it's scheduled for first reading this Friday.
Okay. When's the last time we did a recount?
I don't think we've done one since Councilman Reyes. What year would that have been?
Oh, that was to see whether he just got, because he got just over 50%.
His challenger requested the recount.
Yeah, it was before my time. Yeah, it's 10 years at least here. It's
Way
been 10
back
years.
when.
Yeah.
All right. I remember that election. All right. All right. We'll go ahead and we'll move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 2.
Next item is consideration of motion Cardenas Garcetti Parks Perry relative to an ordinance that would require departments that have been directed by the mayor to report or act on any matter to simultaneously submit a copy of the report that goes to the mayor to the city council as well.
You want to come forward? Sure. Come on down.
Miguel Franco, Office of Councilman Tony Cardenas. First, I want to thank the chairman for agendizing.
And the rest of the committee?
Yes, and the rest of the committee for agendizing. The spirit of the motion was to bring forward full disclosure to both the council and the mayor's office, and ask that when reports are requested from either the mayor or the council, that both parties are given all the information. And after speaking with the city attorney's office, several questions have arisen, and would like further information as to whether the council has authority to request what was being requested in the motion.
Okay. Do you want to detail?
Without betraying an attorney-client
Of course.
privileged conversation with Mr. Franco.
Well, let me ask you a question then.
Okay.
So can you think of any so is this stuff in the charter? Is that the issue that we can't by ordinance necessarily change certain things, that powers that the mayor has
Yes,
directing the departments?
Charter Section 231 states the mayor shall have the power and duty to exercise management authority over all departments, agencies, and appointed offices of the city, except where the charter provides otherwise. And our reading of the charter would, the inference is that such a motion by council, giving such power to the council, would impinge on that authority. There is a administrative code section 19.74
That we request it goes to the mayor.
that addresses that somewhat, but if, basically, I think the motion is asking that it be completely reciprocal duties and powers between council and the mayor and the departments. And to make that completely reciprocal, it would require a charter change. Council could request information from a department on a parallel track with the mayor, but in our opinion, the council can't request of the department to give it information that it was requested by the mayor.
And I think probably Mr. Cardenas and council members would be interested in certain areas. I mean, there's a lot of direction the mayor's office can give to departments on very kind of trivial things that are not communications, but I think it's on the policy issues and contracts and things that are before the council as well, that sometimes I think, as I understood it, talking to Mr. Cardenas when we first introduced this, just you're doing business, trying to help out something move forward, and simultaneously there's other communications going on that we don't know about. That's what impedes on the legislative process. But maybe you can give us some more detail onto what options we would have to achieve that policy, and if that's the reflection of what CD6 was
Yes.
going after too.
Right,
I mean,
we'd be happy to look into that. And speaking with Mr. Echeverria,
Never heard of him.
our wise attorney on this issue, at about the time of the charter change, he recalls our office giving advice on 19.74 and the reason it was framed that way was so that council would not impinge on the mayor's authority in this area. We just can't recall whether that was verbal advice or written advice, so we'll try to dig that up in the interim also.
Okay. All right, well, why don't we continue the item, in the meantime, request that the city attorney report back with recommendations and or draft ordinance that would contain the simultaneous reporting requirements. If it's too soon to do the ordinance piece, why don't you check back in with us and we'll go over the issues and try to plow through them one at a time, and then and see where we are on any ordinance changes or administrative code. Also, give us the options too that if it's something that the district wants to pursue, if you can't do it by ordinance, what are the other options? Does this require a charter change? What sort of charter change would that look like, et cetera? Okay, that sound good?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Here's